I'm Revolutionary Cowboy, and this is my review of the Fine Moments John Cena. The champ is here! And John Cena's here too. See what I did there? Alright, gonna get into this review of Define Moments John Cena, which was the Define Moments line was a very short-lived line. For those of you who maybe just started collecting the WWE Mattel figures, maybe you missed out on these, so maybe you don't know what they were. Basically, the Define Moments were kind of like the Elites, and then the short-lived Legends line, pretty much the same articulation and everything, but also similar to the entrance gates, despite the fact those were basic, but other than that, they were all the same, cloth clothing, maybe championship belts, as you can see with John Cena here. But the Define Moments were, well, they were based off a defined moment in that superstar's career, whether it be a championship win or, maybe a farewell match or a debut match, or it could be, a segment or something. Maybe it didn't have to be a match, but still, it was that, one moment that made the superstar the big superstar they might have been then, or the superstar, like in John Cena's case, that they are today. Now, John Cena was released in the final wave, which there was 5 waves in total, so 2 figures because there was 10 in total. Cena was in the final wave along with Bret the Hitman Hart before they decided to cancel it, since obviously the figures didn't sell well from price to being short packed. Maybe the packaging, and sadly I don't have the packaging for this John Cena, so I can't really read you his defined moment, but if you can probably tell by the tire to the 2 belts he's got here, the WWE Championship that he had for many years, well, and so is everybody else in WWE. Obviously that belt didn't go away until just now, so you can thank Cena for that belt, which is finally retired. And then this belt right here, the spinning United States Championship, which actually was a temporary belt. So maybe it's not as hated as much as the spinning WWE Championship. And I'll review those here in a moment. Of course, get into the attire that you can see that he's wearing. He's got a black chain gang soldier hat. There's his face, a more happy-go-lucky John Cena. I don't know. I was kind of hoping maybe we'd get some angrier John Cena faces than what we've got in the Mattel line. I know he's being aimed towards kids nowadays, but still, I remember Jax made a lot of angrier John Cena figures. Oh well, whatever. It's not his worst face scan. I've seen worse ones. As you see, he's got a couple of chains on. His dog tags that he wears nowadays to show respect to the our armed forces. And then this, the old chain gang soldier chain that he used to wear back in his old days. What else would be cool if they would have included the old, remember the old lock chain he used to wear, the padlock? Of course, some of you kids watch this may not know unless you've seen old videos of John Cena, or maybe, I don't know if you were around back then, but keep in mind, John Cena's been in WWE since, 2002. So any of you younger kids that have probably been watching wrestling just the last few years, you might not have been around back then, or you were probably too young to remember. Those of you who were teenagers, or you were kids back then, maybe you remember. Of course, got a orange jersey on, says number 13 on there. And it could be any team, because this is back in the days when John Cena did the throwbacks. It could be any team for the NBA, or it could be for college. It could be like the Phoenix Suns. I don't know if the Knicks ever wore orange jerseys. I guess they wore orange jerseys sometimes. Could be the Cavaliers back before the days of LeBron. Either LeBron ain't there anymore. Or it could be like a college team like Syracuse, Illinois, Oklahoma State, so on and so on. He's got his black jorts on. And he's got those old high tops he used to wear. Once with the, the football. The basketball, not the football. I'm screwing up here. Anyways, the basketball he used to pump, before he would do a move like the 5-knuckle shuffle. Before he started doing, you can't see me. And I just knocked the figure over. And the bell just came out of his hands. Turn the figure around. He's got Cena 13 on there because obviously he's not promoting a certain player. This is, of course, John Cena's old days before he started the whole, wearing different shirts, or the Free Pebble shirts as The Rock calls them. So I'll put his arms down. Gonna take the belts off. Put the WWE belt down. Take the US belt off. Of course, you can take off his hat here. Reveal that buzz cut John Cena usually always has. At least nowadays, he used to have his hair, sometimes a little more hair on his head than he has now. But obviously, Cena changed with the times. Now take off the dog tags, and there you go. Of course, got the black, wristbands on they used to wear. Which he still wears wristbands today, just not those ones. Now, of course, a jersey can be removed, but it's not very easy to remove because it doesn't have, Velcro on it. The T-shirt does, but not the jersey. So, jersey may not be too easy to remove. And hopefully, I don't have to really, turn the camera off. I may have to if I have a hard time getting the jersey off without tearing it. There really isn't much easy ways to take this jersey off. Okay, didn't struggle too much to take the jersey off, but I thought I wouldn't waste your guys' time since, I just don't want to really take forever to take the jersey off. Of course, the shirt, not too hard to remove. Just gotta remove the Velcro, Pull the shirt off. And now John Cena is ready to wrestle. As you can see, got the elite style articulation and some, same articulation he has in basic form, but honestly, it's better as an elite anyway. Movement at the head, yeah, I haven't moved this figure around very much, so don't worry, he's not broken, because my figure is mostly a display piece, I don't really mess with his head very much. Typical head movements, up and down, 360, move side to side, movement at the shoulder. Move in and out, back and forth. You got the bicep swivel. The single joint elbow. Movement at the wrist. Of course, the hinge at the wrist. Ab crunch articulation. Movement at the waist, and then he has the articulation right here at the legs, so he can go in and out, kind of do the splits, and like this, so he can kick, and then you got the twist of the thigh, double joint knees, he turns at his foot. And you can move the ankle like this, and it pivots a little. Now, he doesn't stand the best, because obviously this is back when he had the old leg, before, when the knee pads were kind of hidden under the under the jorts, and his, jorts kind of counted part of the knee articulation before they changed it to where now you can see the knee pad, and it made it to where Cena can stand up a little better. So, obviously much different than what we get now with John Cena. But still, got the black jorts here. They're not too bad. Now I'll get into his championship belts. Of course, the spinner belt, like I just showed you guys a little bit earlier. Get a little more detail there. Does not spin, sadly, since that's what it did when John Cena first debuted the dang belt. I mean, kind of sucks, but at least they finally retired his belt and we got a new belt. So, and hopefully as soon as I get my hands on Elite 22 Rock, I can have that belt to show you guys. I'll probably still display my John Cena, but at least we don't have to see this belt anymore. But this belt was only used once by only John Cena, and he had it until he lost it to Orlando Jordan. So at least this belt didn't meet the same fate as the WWE Championship. It'd be a permanent belt, and people would probably end up hating it, but still not a bad belt. This is the Spin U.S. Championship, and as you probably just saw me do, it does spin. And of course, this belt only came with the final with Cena. You will not see it with any other figure, at least in the Mattel line. I believe Jax might have made this belt too, So obviously, I mean, I don't know if they made one with painted detail like on this. I mean, they might have made a replica of, detail, but so obviously, yeah, just take a good look at that. And then the last accessory that came with the figure is this display stand, which you can take this off, because you have to kind of put it on yourself. Oh, John Cena fell over. Good timing too, because we're gonna stand you on Cena. So once again, the leg articulation and all that's not too great. Kind of does suck because he doesn't really stand up too well on his own. So it's a good thing they had display stands back then. Sucks that Mattel doesn't do anymore. So come on there, put the decaling just to remind you who he is, in case you forgot already. Not like he's not everywhere nowadays. And there you go. And of course you can display him without the clothing, with the clothing, with the belts, without them. You got the pegs here on the belt, and they snap right in place. Like this. So you can have him wear either championship, and he could hold one and wear the other, and vice versa. Alright, and there you go. And he almost slipped off his display stand. And of course, gonna give you all a little salute. Yeah. Alright, got his clothes back on. Because I always say there's many ways you can display this figure. He could wear his jersey over the shirt, he could just wear the shirt, or he could just wear the jersey. Hat, no hat. He could wear one belt while holding the other, like I just mentioned. And so on and so on. There's just lots and lots of display options for this figure. And, well, as much as I don't like John Cena today, I'm going to say this again, I still like this figure. It's one of the very few Cena figures I like. Other than Elite 17, John Cena with the Rise Above Hate shirt, which I sadly don't have that figure, but if I did, it would probably be my second favorite. But still, this is probably the best John Cena figure that Mattel will probably make for us older fans who aren't big into John Cena. They probably liked him back in his old days of the Doctor of Thugonomics, the old rapper Cena, just back before he became the kid-friendly Cena he is today. And you know what? I still respect the guy. I have nothing against what he does for charity. I mean, he's pretty much the Hulk Hogan of today, I mean, I'm pretty sure Hogan had his haters too, so obviously, whatever. Still, still an awesome figure of Cena. And probably the only figure we'll get of Cena in an earlier attire prior to what he is today. Unless Mattel ever does an old attire, like a flashback of Cena, how he first appeared in WWE, back when he wore his different shorts, Other than that, it's probably the only thing we'll probably get, close to an elite flashback of Cena, because as much John Cena figures we get today, I really doubt we'll see anything like this ever again, but, who knows. Anyways, that's my little opinion on this figure. Once again, I like it. I want to know your opinion. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Honestly, if you don't like Cena in general, then maybe you don't like this figure at all. It's understandable. Or, well, you just collect it anyway, just because you gotta have it in your collection, If you want to collect all the fine moments and you skip Cena, well, then that's kind of sad, unless you're not a completist. But to me, regardless, it's still a nice figure. Had to have in my collection. And my collection would not be complete without it. As always, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe for more wrestling figure, Team of T, Power Rangers, and other action figure videos. And I'll put them out, whenever I can. I'm going to try to do more reviews at least every Sunday from now on. But I'll try to put daily reviews up maybe in the near future. So just stay tuned. Of course, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, links in the description, Facebook. Like my page on Facebook, and also stay up to date with any new reviews I post on my Facebook group, RHC Reviews on YouTube. Links in the description, so you'll never miss any info on what I might review next. As always, I'm Revolutionary Cowboy. Rock on and keep collecting.